Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome, I should say, to Radio W.O.R.K.S World. My name is Gill Barham. I am the Miracle Molecule host. And today I am having, or this morning, I should say, I'm having a light-hearted conversation with my lovely special friend, Philip Chan. Good morning.
Good morning, Jill. Thank you for having me on shows. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all the audience, wherever you may be in the world. So I'm looking forward to our little chat.
Yes. Now, just to tell everybody that Philip has no idea what I'm going to ask him, do you, Philip?
No idea. So which is good. Which is good.
It's quite good. So before we get going on our light-hearted conversation, what I'd like you to do is to share with us, first of all, what you do, what you're doing as a business now, what you're passionate about, what do you love, and what's going, what is your real kind of mission in the world?
Well, I'm known as the 10 seconds maths expert because I teach people, particularly children, young children, to do mathematics in under 10 seconds. My claim of fame is basically at school I was actually in bottom in every subject, including mathematics. So the fact that today I am supposed to be the 10-second maths expert, I sometimes chuckle at myself. I thought, that's not I had to pinch myself. Is that really true? So it just shows that, wherever you are now, it's not where you are now that's important, it's where you're going to be. And I have done maths workshop now for over 45 years. I have workshops for a small group, anything from 20 to maybe about 600 people coming. Thus, children with their parents, so they can be learning together. Also, I'm a member of UNICEF now. In fact, this month is actually my 54th year as their member of UNICEF.
Wow, Philip, that's amazing.
And I had a little bit of health challenge before Christmas, so the doctors didn't think I was going to be here. However, I am here, which is good. And one of my important tasks for them is to complete one small bit. And now that program is now completed. And just before Christmas is rolling out to 193 countries. So that will have an impact on the children. And also UNICEF actually have a 48-hour response to anywhere in the world. For instance, like last year, there's over 300 incidents, but only 1 or 2 get reported in the news. So as a children's champion and also Gift and Will, I'm trying to help them to raise funds constantly so they have funds all year round to cope with the emergencies. Now, in the past few years, I've written a few books, and my books are also dedicated, some of the profit is actually dedicated to UNICEF. So for every time someone buys a book, then a small portion of the money goes to them. My deep passion is really to share with children to enjoy mathematics and have fun, and also change the mindset of the parents, because so often when I do my workshops, I have parents come and say, "Oh, no, I was no good at maths. I wish I was so like you." I said, "Well, if you only knew what I was like at school, you'd be shocked." And normally within 2 minutes of starting the workshop, I get a reaction from everybody to actually change the mindset. So I just want to share as much as I can. In fact, a few months ago, I was on Sky TV, and the interviewer asked me, is there a lost generation with all the wars in Syria and so on, and all these children in a refugee camp? Is there no hope? Well, also, I can't speak for all the subjects, but I said for mathematics, if they can get me out of there, then I can train up some teachers, then perhaps I can make a difference.
You're never going to slow down, are you, Philip Chan?
Basically, what I do is the tech. Well, actually, let me qualify something. You see, if you nick one idea, Joe, you're a dirty, low-down thief. But if you nick a bunch of ideas, you're doing research. I do research. So the transformation. Well, the transformation for me is I hate being called stupid and so on. So I went out and do the research. And then also I found these techniques been around for anything from 200 to 1,000 years old. But it's just not been used. and I started doing it
Well,
just for myself.
I've actually seen it. Well, I've got a copy of your book at home, and I just think it's phenomenal, really. Actually, my son has just trained as a teacher, and he's an early years teacher. So I can't wait to pass it on to him, actually, and see. You know, I haven't done it yet because he's only just qualified, but I am going to give it to him because it is a phenomenal thing. So if anybody's got children or grandchildren, then you need to get this little. It's only a little book, but it's amazing because it just changes the way.
This one.
Oh, there you go. They got it there. Yeah, it's a really tiny book. Okay, thank you very much. So we're going to talk about a little bit more about your business at the end of the call, but actually the rest of this call is about you, Philip Chan. And what the idea is that we're going to get to know the Philip behind the Jet Set learning system and the books and the UNICEF work and all the rest of it, and have a little bit of a glimpse into the Philip that I know as well. Yeah. So I've got a series of questions for you that I'm going to run through. Everybody gets the same questions, and we're going to see what your answers are. I'm really fascinated by this because I know that you're a real entrepreneur, and I know that you've led a very varied life and career. So are you ready? Shall we get going?
Yeah, I have a misspent youth, so carry on.
Okay. Well, my first scenario is I'm going to invite you to a really nice hotel, and you're going to be going to lunch, a very nice lunch on the top floor of this hotel. And you get into the lift or the elevator on the first floor, on the ground floor, I should say. One other person gets into the lift with you. And as you go up in the lift, you get stuck between floors 6 and 7. Now, just to say that you've got windows in the lift, so you're not going to get claustrophobic. So that's the really good news. And the other good news is that you get to choose who you are going to be stuck in that lift with, because you're going to be there for 2 or 3 hours. So I want to know who in the world, dead or alive, would you like to spend 2 or 3 hours with to ask all the questions that you've wanted to ask, or to spend some quality time with? Who would that person be?
That's an easy one. It just has to be Mother Teresa. Because when you look at this, obviously she's passed away, as everyone knows, but this little lady, very unassuming, haven't got the glamour and the glitter of the Hollywood star, and yet she's opened doors to, presidents, dictators, and it's just the pure love and humbleness, and that's the thing I always feel that, we can all be humble, but there's different degree of humbleness. I mean, her humbleness is just so amazing. It just breaks through all the doors. So I
considering, she's from Albania. I've just been to Albania. I went to Tirana last month and didn't really clock, but of course, everywhere is everything about Mother Teresa. And when you look at Albania and where she actually came from, and then what she achieved in that context, particularly as a woman from Albania.
Yes. I mean, if you look at the normal checklist, it goes against the grain of everything, in terms of her height, her background, her language, as the sexist from a male female, to open doors and to get fame without the advertising, like companies are spending billions on advertising, and yet she get advertising, and she made do, and she's just married people in such a way that she doesn't need the advertising, and it's that pure, genuine love. That just reach everywhere, and that if I could bottle that, I thought if I could have just 1% of that, that would be so helpful. So it's funny enough that question has been on my mind for years. Actually, it's not stuck in a lift. Actually, it was just stuck in a desert island, Mother Teresa. So we got plenty of fruit and water to have a long chat.
Oh, okay. Well, here's my next question. Okay, so in this lift, she is hungry, and so are you. So I'm going to magic you up the food that you would like to share with Mother Teresa. So what would that be? What are your favorite foods? What would you like and drink? What would you like to eat and drink with Mother Teresa on that lovely occasion?
It was going to be a vegetarian diet with a little bit chicken and fish,
Well, that's not
basically.
vegetarian.
Well,
You mean vegetables?
yeah, yeah. It's kind
Yeah.
of 80% vegetarian and 20% meat diet.
Okay.
I love fruit juice. I don't drink alcohol because
No.
in fact my mum told me if you have one mouthful of alcohol, it will stunt your growth. I think that's what happened when I was small. I did have one sip of alcohol, and that's why I'm so short.
Obviously.
So yes, I think it would be simplistic food because I think Mother Teresa will do like simplistic food, but yeah, actually it's healthy.
Yeah, cool. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so thank you for sharing that with us. And I think we've at least got one other person that has chosen Mother Teresa. So you'll have to look at the list and see who else chose Mother Teresa.
Right.
Okay, so my next question is, I'd like you to share with us, if you can, what the 18-year-old Philip was doing. So when you were 18, where were you living? What were you doing? What was life for you like then?
Gosh, at 18 years old, I was involved in running about 8 charities. I was competing in sports at various level. In fact, when I was the transformation happened between 14 and 18 actually, because 14 I was this skinny beanpole. If someone sneezed, they would blow me down. And then I got so angry with myself, in the summertime, I started training. I put a program together of 24 elements, and literally
At the time, Philip?
Sorry.
Where were you living at the time?
I was living in London.
Okay.
And I also was doing some part-time work for charity. I was doing coaching. I was also studying as well. And also I was quite an active member of Shelter, the homeless group, and for Oxfam. Back in 1969, there was a Biafra war, and I was very much involved in fundraising for that. And that basically, and unfortunately, unfortunately, leading up to that, the Olympic Games was coming up in 1972. So that took away a lot of my time in training. So eventually that cost my Olympic placing. But okay. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, there's people are more important than a piece of metal.
And did you just share with us what sports that you did and what you would have competed at and represented Great Britain in?
I was trained with the Great Britain gymnastic team, but I'll be representing Hong Kong for gymnastics.
Okay.
I did have a world ranking for badminton as well. So, and I played a bit of ping pong. Yeah.
Ping pong. Brilliant.
And because I was doing a lot of charity event, and I do lots of back-to-back walking for different charities. So, for instance, for one charity, I would do a 50-mile walk on the Friday midnight, because it then ends up on Saturday morning. Then I go and play for football, hockey for my team in the afternoon. And then the Sunday, with another charity, I do a 20-mile walk. So I do a back-to-back 50 and 20 miles a weekend for different charities. Eventually, I was involved in 18 charities. And one of the charities was called Rehab, not the drugs, but the disabled people. We used to have once a year walking across the 18 bridge of London, the London bridges, 18. So that was a nice 20-mile walk. So yes, I've been kept myself busy to do things like that.
You have indeed, and I think for me, you're my father, Teresa. To be honest, all the wonderful good works that you've done and the influence that you've had on so many people is astonishing. Right from the age, I didn't realize it was from such an early age now, but I had no idea that you were doing that kind of good work at such an early age. And Philip, can you remember 18 what you were listening to on the radio, or what music was in your heart at that time?
Well, the Beatles, definitely. I can't remember against, but it's that era, the Beatles, the Kinks, Manfred Mann,
Yeah.
the Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but also on the other end of the scale, I do like the very old stuff, like George Formby.
Okay.
Can I mention Des O'Connor? Oh, sorry.
You can mention Des O'Connor, yes.
Viewers, you did not hear that. In fact, I used to shock my friends, that I had produced my Des O'Connor records,
Well, he was incredibly popular.
Yes,
He was.
was.
And
Actually.
he does have a great voice. Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so thank you. That's really interesting. So in that case, what was happening by the time you got to 35? Where were you and what were you doing at 35?
I was coaching a lot of sports in the 3 levels of gymnastics, from the men's Olympic, women's Olympic, and nationally modern rhythmic gymnastics, which is supposed to be a women's only. What happened is I was coaching my gymnastics girls, and they need dance training. So I got involved at the start of the modern rhythmic in this country. And because they didn't have the Olympic experience, I actually ended up as the first male national coach.
Cool.
And in fact, to my knowledge, I'm still the only male national coach. They wanted me to take that to the international level, but there was only one slight challenge in the rule. To become a modern rhythmic international coach, you had to be a female.
Oh, that's a big rule.
So as much as I love the sport, I didn't really want to have surgery for that. So, and also I was involved in a number of different sports as well, football, badminton, from a county to international level.
Well, still competing, you mean? You were still competing at that level?
I was
You were
coaching.
coaching.
I was coaching a number of different sports, and my athletes, was competing at county, national, and international levels as well. And I was the decathlon coach for Norfolk, teaching the 10 events. Pole vault was just one of them.
Yeah.
I think by the age of 35, I think that was the last time I did my cliff diving.
Just my cliff diving.
Because
just throw that one into the mix.
Well, I think my last dive was actually I went to Malta, which was not a nice, huge, tall place, and all the cliff divers know you just climb up to the cliff. That takes you, not like nowadays, the modern one. You have platforms. You actually have physically climb up the side, and it takes you maybe a half hour to climb up that cliff, and takes 2 seconds to come down.
Okay, so Philip Chan, how did you get into cliff diving?
Crazy youth. I want to challenge myself, and because yes, I'll be the gymnastics. Then I'll transfer to trampolining, and then trampolining for the diving would be a bit of a fun thing to do, but it was very boring doing that. Already diving from the top board, you just jump down and boom, that's it. So to add a bit of excitement, to climb on the cliff. And in fact, my last time I'd done was actually in Malta, and in fact, it's crazy because you can't get to the top. You have your arms out wide, and I felt so good. I felt just like a bird. But the thing is, when you're diving, you got to put your hands to protect your head like this. And I forgot. I just left them out like this, and I just hit boom, bang. I mean, I should know better. I should know better.
Yes.
The crazy thing is, somehow I managed to get to the beach, and I can't remember how I got from where I dive in, which is probably about 100 meters from the shore. And somehow I managed to get to the beach. There was no damage except I got a bloody nose. That's all. And that was the last time I ever done my cliff diving. So I think that knocked a bit of sense into me for a change.
Clearly. And when did you get into the maths thing and the 10 second?
I was very aware when I first became a teacher. The way we've been taught to teach was actually so boring, and that a lot of my pupils hating it. Um, and then I said, well, there must be a better way.
So when did you become a teacher?
Oh, 45 years ago.
Okay.
Yep.
So this
Which
was
is,
before you were 35. So you were teaching and you were
yeah,
coaching at the
yeah. I
same
was
time.
teaching. Well, I was teaching, coaching, and helping the charities at the same
Yes.
time, and I
Yes.
was doing emotional counselling as well.
And
So,
did you have a family by then?
no, no, no.
No.
Yes, it's, yeah, that's another story. So no, I've been so very, very, very busy with that. So I was involved in lots of things as well. So I was investigating all the time. Actually, I also started the 10 seconds before I was teaching, because I said the turnaround was when I was out of school. I started investigating these, and when I actually went into teaching, I said, well, why don't I try it out with my pupils?
Yeah.
Then obviously I had very good results. It got such a good result that I came close getting sacked from two of the schools I was teaching, because they said, because this is not conventional way. You're not allowed to do that. Even though I was getting the results, even though
Yeah.
my pupils were enjoying this thing. There was two schools I went to them after Easter. So between Easter and summertime, that's when the exams are. So in that short period of time, the pupils at age 15 and 16 were taking the GCSE exam. I've managed to retort a 2-year GCSE course in that 7-8 weeks time period, and I had to use the 10-second maths expert to teach the techniques to get through a lot of the things in that time. Unfortunately, the pass rate was only 96% in that 7 weeks to retort a 2 years.
Only 96%, did you say?
Yes, yeah. So I was sort of very happy I didn't get 100%.
Amazing. Okay, brilliant. So really fascinating stuff. And I know that we've just kind of that's the tip of the iceberg really for the life of Philip Chan. I've got some quick fire questions for you now, Philip.
Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to know whether you're a TV or a radio person.
Radio.
Okay, non-fiction or fiction?
Oh, non-fiction.
Are you the oldest, middle or youngest child?
Oldest.
Oldest child, okay. And at school then, were you the goody two-shoes, the class clown? Were you a bit of a handful or were you always under the radar?
I'm definitely under the radar.
Yeah. And what would you say is your best habit nowadays?
My best habit. Oh gosh, have I got any help? My best habit is listed here.
What's that?
It's blank.
I know that you've got good habits. Come on, think about a good habit.
I think I can handle lots of different pressures.
Yes.
And also.
Well, I think that's very clear from the variety of things. And you're the ultimate multitasker, really, aren't you?
I don't know. I mean, I do love my sleep, but if I have a pressure, then if I can actually get away with not sleeping for maybe 2-3 days if necessary.
Wow. Okay, so what's?
So I suppose the habit is the stickability, I suppose, to get until the job's done.
Get it done, yeah. Okay, so what would you say is your worst habit then?
Oh, trying to do too many things at once.
Yeah, so there's the yin and the yang of that. That's the double-edged sword, isn't it? Okay. And so what do you do amidst your life, your busy life? What do you do to relax, Philip?
I sing to myself. I used to write poems, and I used to write music, but unfortunately I can't do it with my hands anymore. And in fact, my singing is so good, I'm only allowed to sing in the bath underwater.
Okay.
And I used to draw as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you know that I can sing. You know that that's my thing, don't you? If I'm on stage and I bring you up with me to sing with me, what would be your karaoke song?
Oh gosh. That's an interesting one. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, probably.
Somewhere over the rainbow. Oh, that's really lovely. Would that be the Judy Garland version, or would that be the Eva Cassidy version?
It's my version because I sing it so
It's
badly.
your version.
Yeah, I think if I start singing it won't be over the rainbow. It'd be under the black cloud.
Over and out, yeah. Okay. And Philip, just tell us, have you ever had any nicknames?
Yes.
So what were your nicknames?
My grand Abby.
Arby.
Yep.
Arby. And who called you that? Your grandmother?
That's my grandma. I still don't know what that means, but
no.
she, ever since I was she called me Abby.
Arby, lovely. Okay, so now I have another scenario for you. Mm-hmm. So I think you know that I've been married for years and years and years. I've been with my husband for 35 years this year. Yeah. And a couple of years ago, we went off to America and did 8 states and 3,300 miles. And we were together for the whole month, for 24 hours a day, apart from one day when he went off into the desert on a Harley Davidson. Right. And that whole time we had a fantastic experience, and we never had a crossword between us the whole time. And partly it was because we'd had the whole thing organized. You know, we knew where we were going. We had the flights organized for us and all the hotels were booked. So if I was to do the same for you and send you off somewhere for a month and organize everything so you had no stress, who would you take with you that you know you could spend a whole month with without a crossword?
Actually, probably one of my granddaughter.
Ah.
Because she's so fascinating at learning things. So it's I think everything would be a discovery. So
yeah.
And sometimes she will ask me questions that I have to really think about. I thought, I thought it was so obvious, but actually, then no. I was one of my granddaughter who I think are so curious. Then that she'll increase my curiosity as well. Because sometimes
how old is she? How old is she?
She's 10.
10. And what's her name? Can we know her name? Chloe. So you'd have a month away with Chloe. Oh, how fantastic. That's brilliant. Okay. So we're going back onto the music track. So these conversations are being transcribed into a book that's going all around the world in 80 days with Marina and the Ben Salmi family, which I know you know about.
Yes.
And the other thing is that we're compiling a music list, a kind of playlist. So everybody who is interviewed gets to choose one track that goes on to the playlist. And what I'd like you to do is to tell us which track you would use, what piece of music or song you would like added to the playlist that would make you feel light-hearted.
The Carpenters, We've Only Just Begun.
Oh, that's one of my very favourite tunes in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, so, I love Karen Carpenter.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm very happy to have that on my playlist. I think that's an excellent choice. Okay, and so music's one of my passions, but you know that the heart is another one of my passions. I am, looking after people in terms of their heart, not only the heart that beats inside them, but the heart they give to the world, which I think you've got my book anyway.
Yes.
So what I'd like you to do is tell us what you do to look after your physical heart. So what do you do to keep yourself fit and well? And also, what do you do to keep your emotional and spiritual heart healthy?
Well, I'm actually restarting my own exercise program again. I realised then I've gone through a little health challenge. And also I put a little bit of weight on, so I need to actually, lose a little bit. So I'm actually I'd actually dig out my old previous pre-Olympic training program. Not that I will do that. In fact, of the 24 elements, I think I'll get through about 3.
Yeah.
So the training will start at 5 in the morning. And then I'll do just a few little bits, so I can start doing it on a regular basis now.
And what are you going to do? What are you going to do nutritionally to buffer? Because you know that as you exercise, as an elite athlete, you know that as you exercise, that's very stressful for the body. So you need to up your antioxidants and up your fluid levels as well, and your nutrients, your macronutrients. So what will you be doing to support that training program?
Well, I'm actually sitting down to actually put myself as the trainer training my athletes. So
Yeah.
I'm actually writing a diet program for myself with juices, fruits, uh, water intakes, multivitamins, and so on and so forth. So I'm actually sitting down this weekend, no, sorry, on Monday, to actually start again, because I realised then until I put things down on paper, sometimes you won't do it. Yeah, to keep it here.
Yeah.
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 So I'm going to go back. I'm actually training now for Olympics again after about 100 years.
What do you mean you're training for the Olympics? Explain.
Well, I had this thing once upon a time. Then obviously I retire in 1972.
Mm.
My coaching and competing. I really wanted to see if I can actually compete at the over 80 games.
Yes.
Clearly, that's not going to happen now since I had my operation 7 years ago. So technically, I'm disabled, but I'm actually reworking my legs, so I'm actually walking. But I want to have that mind frame as though I'm actually, going to compete at Olympic level again. I know I'm not going to get anywhere close to that, but even the 1% is better than 0%. So I'm going to
Yeah.
start to have to go to the much more discipline again in the way I use my time, the way I think, and also to start jotting down, because when I train my athlete, I insist on they actually keep a journal. So
Hmm.
I'm going to have to start doing that for myself, and go back as a trainee.
Brilliant. And then
So
what about your heart in terms of the one that you give to the world? What do you do to look after that?
I stopped writing poetry for a long time, and I think that'd be a good thing for me to start writing poetry again. There was a
Hmm.
time when I was writing about 5 or 10 poems a day. So I think that'd be a good way to release my deeper emotions.
Yeah. Brilliant. Okay, well, that's really fascinating. So before we finish, Philip, I've really enjoyed my light-hearted conversation with you. I hope you have too.
Thank you, Joe. It's been real pleasure chatting again. Thanks for
Yeah.
letting me on your program.
Yeah, no, I'm absolutely delighted. So before we go, though, what I'd like you to do is to share with us what's coming up for you that you're really excited about over the next month or 6 months. What events have you got coming up? How can people connect with you?
Well, first of all, next Tuesday, actually, at the Crown Plaza Hotel in Battersea, I'm actually having my event. So if you'd like to come along, then look out on my Facebook page, and then I'd love to see you. In the next year, I'm hoping to do some joint venture with different people. So to actually do some mass workshop. Recently with Sabrina and her family, we had a little bit of fun around her house. I actually stopped doing that type of workshop about 5 years ago because I've been doing it for so many years. Uh, but there's been a request for that. So we may have some fun and do some joint venture, do some mass workshop to make things, and also to do the 10-second speed mass with parents and children. And that's
Yeah.
what the plan is for the next 6 months.
And the event next Tuesday. So who should come to that?
Well, I think everybody, for two reasons. If you have a message, in your heart that you want to share, that's a great platform for you to come and actually listen to other people's story and to share your story. Also, sometimes the people are searching for the meaning of life. There will be so many wonderful people there who will share their story, and they hopefully one person or several you can resonate with to then start you on your particular journey to whatever you want to do.
It's an amazing inspiration, and we've over the time that we've seen people come along to those for the first time and they really don't quite know what to expect, and then the transformation that they go through in terms of
Yes.
their realization of what they're passionate and what their purpose is, make a difference in the world, things that might have been buried for them. All of a sudden, that's the brilliance about this platform, is that you've got this personal, this community of people behind you saying, no, you do need to do this. You do need to make the news. You don't have to be the person in the back, be the person that's making the difference,
Yes.
being on stage. And you do get the opportunity to stand on stage for just for a couple of minutes and introduce yourself. And it's amazing, isn't it? The transformation
Yes,
we've seen. Okay, Philip's frozen, unfortunately. That was all we were going to say, actually. I've put Philip's Facebook page link up onto here now so that you can connect with him. I'd finished my conversation. It's obviously his signal has dropped. So Philip, thank you very much. I know that you may come back on, but thank you very much. Thank you very much to everybody for watching this morning and for watching the replay. So come along to Philip's event next Tuesday the, what would it be? I've no idea what the date next Tuesday is. Something like the 20th, I'm not sure. So come along next Tuesday and keep watching. I've got 3 more shows to do today. I'm so excited about all of those. And it's goodbye from me at Radio Works World.